even further.
All right, folks, we're at the Wells Fargo Center. Hillary Clinton just finished giving her speech to the Democratic delegates. Packed house here. We're joined by Jason Johnson, political editor of TheRoot.com, Dr. Julianne Malveaux, president emerita, Bennett College, also an economist, Paris Chenard, Republican strategist. Folks, didn't take Hillary Clinton long to go after Donald Trump. Your immediate assessment of her speech?
Much better than I thought. I don't think Hillary Clinton's a very good speaker, but she somehow channeled some real passion, some real punch tonight. It was interesting. It was the first time I heard her make a case for voting for her instead of just against Donald Trump.
I agree, except for I think there was too much Trump in the speech. I do agree that she made a better case for herself. She talked about some, but not all of the economic issues. She did talk about work. I love that she raised a point about profit sharing. We can change the tax code to make sure that those businesses that have a great business ethos get rewarded. But there was too much Trump, and she repeated herself. She looked presidential, she looked fantastic, and it was a great moment for her. But she should have had somebody else introduce her besides her daughter.
No. Yeah, but here's the deal, though. First of all, I didn't think it was too much Trump because, and I thought what she hit on was strong. When she ticked off ties in China, frames here, when she talked about student debt, his debt, Paris, you had to cringe when she hit those points.
I was cringing because I know that something's coming from the Donald Trump campaign at her because those things get under his skin. And she was really pointedly telling the American people some truths about his record, and that's what campaigns are about. They're about exposing the truth and going after the facts of each person's record. I do believe that she should have spent a little bit more time talking about her own record and her own capabilities and her own reasons why she should be president, rather than, like you said, voting against Trump, but voting for her. Getting
but here's the deal, though, Jason. Yeah, but she did. I mean, first of all, look, she talked about the economy, talked about criminal justice, talked about immigration reform, talked about what issue when it comes to choice. So there were a number of things that she laid out that really is a part of her agenda, but she also has to make the contrast against Donald Trump.
Right.
That's true.
I just think she was a little repetitive, Roland, in terms of her talk about Trump. She made the tie point and the cufflinks point more than once. And I liked the speech. As you said, it exceeded my expectations. And I thought she looked fantastic.
But Jason, the reason that matters is because Donald Trump was running around in Ohio, Pennsylvania, talking about bringing manufacturing jobs. What she's saying is, dude, you didn't do it. You didn't bring the jobs here.
Right, exactly. Your hats are made in China. Your suits are made in Indonesia. Your farm workers all come from overseas, and none of them are American citizens. I thought that was a good point. Look, we've had a lot of people this week who talk about how great Hillary Clinton is, but we needed to hear from her, the candidate, not this dismissive, Donald Trump is a dumb guy, but she needed to make the case. Look, y'all, when it all comes down to it, this is what I did. This is why you should vote for me. This is why you shouldn't vote for the other guy. I was impressed. Yeah, I tweeted this. If this is the Hillary Clinton we see during the debate, she's going to win all three of them.
But she's going to do that anyway, because I think her temperament is so different from Donald Trump's. And I think the point she made that was really important was when she talked about these temper tantrums he has. And do you want somebody like that who, as you say, something gets under his skin and he just erupts?
Anybody who can be taunted by a tweet can't be president.
I thought what was also important is that she made the case for Bernie Sanders supporters. She went out and said, Bernie, thank you for running. You made me better.
I'm so happy that
she needed to do that because she has to have those progressives coming onto her side and talking about the issues that Bernie Sanders ran the election on. So that was an important thing for her that she had to do.
And that was early on. It was early on, and she also was pointed in saying, you believe in these issues, and when is the last time you actually heard a nominee talk about what's in the platform?
Exactly.
When she said, we fought for it together, now let's work together to make it happen. That was a strong point.
I was with the Utah delegation, which was mostly, which was mostly Bernie people. Of their 24-person delegation, or whatever, only 6 of them were Hillary. They have you all noticed those neon green shirts they had on. When I looked over, I counted, maybe it's about 10% of the delegates had it. It was a last-minute movement on their part. But they were not backing down. One lady had taped a silence thing on her mouth. Some of them turned their back. And I was talking to them. They let me sit in their delegacy. They were very nice to me, but they really feel that they still haven't been recognized. Whenever she mentioned Bernie stuff and I said something to them, they feel like they want more. I don't know what more they want.
First of all, I'm sorry. At some point, and look, Ben Jealous, I talked to him, went off on a lot of these Bernie delegates.
Exactly.
And he was a huge Bernie Sanders supporter. He said, but the bottom line is here. We got a whole lot. They got a lot in the platform.
Exactly.
I mean, the recognition he got, I think the Hillary Clinton folks have been extremely gracious to Bernie Sanders people. And at the end of the day, they lost.
Right.
Period.
Yeah,
and they lost.
And at the end of the day, you lost, and you lost for the very reason that your candidate just demonstrated, by which is he has now decided, oh yeah, I'm not a Democrat anymore either. And he made that announcement this week, and that's why they didn't want to win the nomination to begin with.
And that's why he did not, the nerve of him at some level to say the rules are not fair. Well, you don't know the rules, dude.
Because you ain't really a part of the party.
You've been a 5-minute Democrat. But my concern is that I feel very assuaged by the time I spent with them, because while many of them are going to vote Hillary, they just mad.
Yeah, but here's the deal, though. It's a bunch of people mad on the Republican side as well. I do believe that Paris, now leaving here, Hillary Clinton, Tim Kaine, going on this bus trip, going through the Rust Belt, reminiscent, Bill Clinton, Al Gore in 1992. Trump has been, look, a lot of those disaffected white voters upset by what's happening with trade. But he's going to have to now talk about a plan. Bumper sticker ain't going to work.
Right.
No, it's very true, and that's what we're waiting on. And we're trying to work with the campaign to have more of a specific agenda for not only the black community, but for the people that are going to be open to voting for him and are looking for policy from the Trump campaign. But one thing that I saw that was missing was Hillary Clinton tonight talking about HBCUs. She has a large plan about it. I was hoping to hear a little bit more of that, and hear a lot more about the black community. I believe Donald Trump mentioned African Americans at least 4 or 5 times. It wasn't as many in this speech, but I was hoping that she would talk a little bit more. I was standing next to DeRay as
it wasn't 4 or 5 times.
Right.
No, it was 4 or 5 times actually.
No, he mentioned Chicago, Baltimore. He mentioned inner cities.
And he said African Americans at least 3 times, and then
Okay, so
referenced.
now you got him from 4 or 5 to 3.
It was the 4 or 5 black people that he knows.
But here's the deal, though. Here's the deal, though. One of the things, though, beyond her speech tonight, and that is, and you saw it in there, first and foremost, to have the wives of law enforcement speak. Now, here's what's interesting. Republicans did the same thing, but they didn't have mothers of the movement.
Exactly.
Democrats seem to be more embracive of blue lives and black lives than GOP was.
Well, look, if you did not speak at this Democrat convention, you clearly are not on the list, because they had everybody who was somebody speaking at this convention. So the powerful thing that I came away from was she has some mighty surrogates that can go out and touch all the communities. When she can't speak to something because she might not have the credibility or authenticity to do it, she has people that can go and reinforce for her, and that's going to be very powerful. And on our side, we're going to have to find other people to do the same thing for Donald Trump.
It was amazing. I saw after last night's speeches, the Trump campaign sent out a press release, said Democrats' whole agenda was a fear. I said, surely somebody was drunk who wrote that press release.
No, he was being self-reflective. He looked in the mirror and saw his own convention. This has been a convention of optimism. It's been an upbeat.
It's been very divisive, too. I mean, the Bernie Sanders...
I disagree with you, because, as I said, I spent 4 hours today with Bernie people, sitting in the Utah Dell. Maybe it was 3. I'm going to be like you. My mathematics are slipping. But anyway...
Fuzzy math.
And economist. Go ahead.
No, I was there from 8 until I came down here. So, but in any case, it's divisive the same way that when we left in 1988, Atlanta, Reverend Jackson did not win. And one of the things, footnote, is these sisters who are running it, Mignon, Donna Brazile, we were Jackson.
Leah Daughtry.
Yeah, we are Jackson protege. We were the people who were part of it. And when we left Atlanta, when we left San Francisco, we was mad that Reverend Jackson had not done as well as we thought. But so we left mad, just like the Hillary people left in 2008 mad. But people, you get mad, you get a few minutes, and then you get back together and you clean it up.
Jason, we're around on 100 days before the election.
Right.
How do you, what now has to happen? Clinton, Kaine, what must they do?
First thing Clinton Kaine have to do is make sure that their money is in the right place. The biggest advantage that they have over Donald Trump right now, it's not in the polls, it's not even in the surrogates, it's in the money they have spent on the ground with staff. And they have the staff out there. They need to keep those people motivated, go through those seats. That's the thing that's going to end up winning this race for them.
Even more than that, they've got to spend money on black media buys and other media buys. I mean, when we look at these campaigns, all too often, even though we got black folks in there, I want to see our black newspapers, I want to see black radio, TV Radio 1 involved. You know, they're going to be taking out ads elsewhere. So people have to make sure that their resources are reflective of those who they value. Don't tell me that black people read or listen to whatever radio. Target for us. So that's and we have to be. They have to begin almost immediately a church movement and a college movement.
What must Trump and Pence do?
They must begin to define Hillary Clinton as the candidate that is not for a certain amount of demographic groups. They have to define her the way they are successfully defining Donald Trump as a racist, as a bigot. They have to define her the way they're defining him, the way he defined everybody else in that campaign. And the other thing that the Trump campaign has to do is spend the money in the black community as well.
Well, good luck with that.
Well, I think
they got to get some staff. I mean, literally, they got to get some staff. That's always been the issue.
What did they hire staff?
I'll say this here. No, the most important thing the Trump campaign has to do is get a damn plan. Because the bottom line is this here. He's been winging it, just doing bumper sticker slogans. Now it's only two people standing, and guess what? They're going to go after him at every turn. He is going to have to actually have a plan on the economy, on jobs, on energy, on veterans, and not just this sort of general, hey, I'm going to just make it happen.
One thing I'm going to be looking at, Roland, is to see if the unfavorables for Hillary Clinton go down and if she gets a bump after this convention.
Right.
Because despite all of the things that have been going on, unfavorability amongst both candidates are still pretty close and pretty high. So it'll be interesting to see what happens after this convention.
All right, folks. Well, look, we certainly appreciate it. Again, a little more than 100 days before Election Day. We will continue breaking this whole thing down. We're going to go to a break right now. We'll be back. News 1 Now, TV 1 Live from Philadelphia, site the Democratic National Convention. Back in a moment.